It's just going to be chopped around and edited, is it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet.
Okay, so if you could just introduce yourself to me, so if you could say your name, your position, and your club.
Hi, my name's Ben Morgan. I play number 8 for Gloucester.
Awesome. How did you decide to play number 8? How did it all come about? Is it something you did from a young age, or?
As a matter of fact, I used to play centre wing and fullback when I was really young, and then as I got bigger, I progressively moved infield, and I ended up being at the back of the scrum.
Why do you like playing number 8? What is it about the position that?
It gives me the freedom to move around the field. Obviously, a lot in the backfield, and which is pretty similar to where I was playing fullback for a bit. So I get my hands on the ball quite a lot, and I guess that's what I like to do the most, is get my hands and get running.
What is your job as number 8 at the set pieces, so the scrum and the line-outs?
Well, line-outs vary. You can be anywhere of the number of the main jumpers in the line-out. And then scrum, really, you're the link man between the backs and the forwards. You've got to work really hard with your 9 and get everything running smoothly at the base of the scrum, because obviously there's a lot of plays coming off the base of the scrum, a lot of set pieces, so that's really important.
Okay, opposite that, what is your job as number 8 during open play then?
Open play, if you're attacking, obviously you're considered to be one of the main ball carriers in the squad, so it's just trying to get around the corner or get yourself into the best position to be able to carry. And then defensively, you're looking to make some big hits, big tackles, turnovers, and really make an impact on the game.
Okay, how do you balance technique with brute strength, especially being a forward where you're, being part of the scrum, you're meant to have a lot of power? How do you balance the two?
I think it's practice. You've got to do your generic stuff throughout the week with your weights and your technique stuff with the units sessions that we do. But then it's also having your skill sessions to keep your handling smooth. You practice in the backfield, so you're catching balls and just getting your hands on the ball a lot.
Brilliant. So what are the main attributes a player needs to play number 8 effectively then? So if you say, you need this, this and this to play, what would they be? I
think you need to have good hands. You need to be explosive and powerful. I'm trying to get there. But no, I'd say those are the main things, really. And you've also got to be able to be a good communicator, because it's an important link role, so you've got to be able to give information.
Okay, you say a good communicator. How much does your gum shield affect you talking to other players on the pitch?
Not too much, I scream. Yeah, no, I mean, you're feeding little bits of information. If you've got a good gum shield, it doesn't stop you too much.
Okay, fantastic. Do you like to drive in the scrum then? Are you a number 8 who likes to power through, or are you one that likes to hold back, let the ball come back to you and break? Or does it depend on the situation?
Well, the scrum's a difficult thing, really, because it's a moving object. So ideally, you want the ball at your feet as quickly as possible, so it's a quick strike between the 9, the hooker, straight to your feet at 8. But obviously, sometimes that doesn't happen, so you've got to be in a position where you're going to be able to fire your second rows in and be able to push to win that ball back.
Awesome. Do you like holding the ball in the scrum and driving? Or do you
that's where I talk about the balance and the link. Is you've got to read whether we've got a dominant scrum, and if we have, then it's your duty to be able to keep the ball in and try and get your penalty or get better field position. But then if you can feel that the scrum's under pressure, it's being able to get the ball away, have it controlled at your feet so the 9 can play it, or you take that option of picking yourself.
Brilliant. Speaking of scrums, do you like the new scrum laws? Do you prefer them to the old ones? And more importantly, do you think they actually work?
Look, scrums are difficult anyway. You look through the years, there's always been complaints about the scrums, so I think it's a difficult thing. But I think it's something that we need to set the stall out and keep it the same, so people can adjust to it and get used to it. I think this chopping and changing makes it really difficult, and particularly at Gloucester, we've found it difficult to adjust to the new interpretations, or it's taken us a lot longer. So yeah, it's a main focal point of the game is set piece, and to have something that's changing all the time makes it really difficult.
Do you miss the impact of the old scrums, that large hit?
It changes it. It does change, because the scrums are now becoming a longer thing. Although they're supposedly more stable, they're longer, so it changes the game, because you're able to scrummage for longer, which tires out the forwards anyway, so it opens up holes and that sort of stuff elsewhere on the field. But I'd say, look, I don't really miss it. I find it frustrating when things change.
Okay. What's your training regime like at the moment then? Obviously you've been through the heavy stuff sort of pre-season, so what's it like
Yeah,
now?
your general season structure is you get all your heavy lifting and conditioning in early doors, and that gives you foundation for the rest of the season. And then during the season, you're doing weights and conditioning top-ups, really. You're never actually, well, in my opinion, you're never looking to gain strength during the season, it's just maintain. And really, that's it. I'd say, yeah, you're just trying to maintain your strength for the season. Obviously, the impacts of the game, you're trying to recover because it's only a week turnaround between games, so it's important that you can be able to recover and get going again.
Okay, as a forward, is training sort of more weight-based versus cardio compared to one of the backs?
No. It's pretty even, really, but I'd say we do a lot more, obviously, rucking and mauling, which is a physical toll on your body. Like this afternoon, for example, we have a unit session in the morning where we're doing full line-outs, live scrums, and the backs have got a sprint coach in just doing running technique. So, yeah, there's definite impacts on your body that are different being a back and a forward. But when it comes to the game, like I said, it's set-piece orientated, so it's important that we do that during the week.
Okay, let's go opposite then. What's your diet like? Is there anything you can't have? You know, I presume beer and curry is completely off the list to you.
It's all about moderation, really. After a game, you can have a beer and that sort of thing. You can have your cheat meal, but it's about eating clean in the week and looking after yourself. I mean, there's nobody that can just stay on a strict. I'm not going to have any of this, because it's impossible to do that. So I think it's all about moderation.
How many calories would you say you eat in an average day then? And sort of how many meals would that break into?
I wouldn't be able to tell you how many calories, but I mean, we'll have breakfast, which is, I'm trying to have carbohydrates every meal. Obviously, you need that energy to sustain yourself throughout the day and the week. So it's a breakfast, we'll train, perhaps do a bit of weights. Then we'll have like a little snack, which will be a light snack of a wrap or something like that. Then we do the rest of the training. They feed us here, so we'll have a meal here. And then go home. I'll have an evening meal at home and perhaps a snack after that, either a protein shake or something like that.
Okay, brilliant. Do you have any exercises that help prevent injury, sort of around the main areas where rugby players tend to get injured?
There is proprioception training, which is obviously training small movements and strengthening individual areas, so that does help, but there's no set thing that's going to stop you getting injured, because it's just one of those things that you can't prevent. It happens sometimes, unfortunately, and that's the downside of our game.
Okay, do you know, being a forward, obviously you're crushing the ball a lot, you're in a lot more tougher environment. Do you think that sort of hardened you off to injury? Sort of, you're in that environment a lot, your body seems to get used to being hurt, as it would.
No, I don't think so. I think you're trying to recover. Like I told you, recovery is really important. Obviously, there's a lot of physical bumps in during the week, and then that amounts to the game as well. And you have, obviously, it's like being in a car crash sometimes. So I think, like I said, it's just luck whether you don't get injured, really. Like some of the times you have bumps, but they're recoverable by looking after yourself in the week, getting your ice baths in on the hands and that sort of stuff. But no, I think injury is just one of those things. It's unfortunate, and you see some things that happen and it doesn't look like anything, and it ends up being a serious injury.
Okay, so how important is a warm-up and cool-down then to players?
Warm-up's really important. That's when you're most likely to, if you're coming into a session, you're trying to go full on straight away and start running, whatever, then you're most likely to pull a muscle because you're cold. You warm down, or what we say is our recovery, which is our ice baths and that sort of thing. It's important. We wear skins, get the compression garments on, just to be able to aid our recovery quicker and get us in the best shape for the weekend.
Okay. What's it like being at the back of the scrum? Is there a unit feel, or is it a bit detached since you're not considered one of the tight five?
I don't think it's detached. Obviously, like I spoke before, there's a lot of involvement around the link play between the backs and forwards. So I think your ultimate, your idea going into the scrum is you've got to push and you've got to get the pack in that front foot position when they're driving. But then as soon as the ball's played in, your focus is around that ball as well as pushing. So you've got to be able to control the ball but be able to keep your weight on the scrum.
Awesome. How do you mentally prepare yourself for a match? So let's say you're in the changing room just before you go out. Is there anything you do?
No, I think all your preparation really is done during the week. That's where we're looking at video, watching what our opposition do. We review the game that we've played the week before to see where we can improve. So you do all of your preparation in that week, and then it's just about your emotions. And we generally start low emotionally and then build right up to it, and then you're pretty much ready to go by game day.
Okay, last couple of questions. Is there anyone you draw inspiration from, sort of when you was coming up, in particular to your position?
No, not to my position. I think my biggest inspiration was John Alomu. I used to just like watching how he used to just run through people, and that's really one of my memories as a youngster, and wanting to try and recreate that sort of thing.
Then, last question. Who do you think is the best number 8 in the world, and why? What makes them so good at being a number 8?
Kieran Reid is the best number 8 at the moment. He's just everywhere. He is that link player between backs and forwards. He's hard running. He's got good hands. He can control ball, and I think he just does everything really well. I don't think you could. Well, I don't particularly point one skill of his as being absolutely unbelievable. It's just everything is very good, which makes him a very good player.
Okay, thank you very much, Ben.
Cheers, mate.